In Colossians chapter 2, the Apostle Paul addresses important spiritual truths to the believers in Colossae, emphasizing the fullness found in Christ and warning against false teachings. Paul begins by expressing his deep concern and struggle for the spiritual well-being of the Colossians and those in nearby Laodicea. He desires that their hearts be encouraged and united in love, grounded securely in the knowledge of Christ. A central theme of this chapter is the fullness of Christ. Paul asserts that all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge are hidden in Christ. He warns the believers not to be deceived by hollow and deceptive philosophies, human traditions, or elemental spiritual forces that are not based on Christ. Paul highlights that Christ is the fullness of God's nature dwelling bodily, making him the ultimate source of spiritual life and truth. Paul further explains the believer's new identity in Christ through baptism. He describes baptism not merely as a ritual, but as a symbol of dying with Christ and being raised to new life. This spiritual union with Christ breaks the power of worldly rules and legalistic religious practices, such as circumcision or dietary laws. Paul reassures them that Christ has cancelled the written code of regulations that stood against them, and has triumphed over spiritual powers through his death and resurrection. Finally, Paul warns against submission to human traditions and regulations that may appear wise but lack power to truly transform. He encourages the Colossians to live rooted and built up in Christ, firmly established in their faith, and overflowing with thankfulness. In summary, Colossians chapter 2 is a powerful reminder of the supremacy and sufficiency of Christ. It calls believers to remain vigilant against false teachings, and to embrace the fullness of life and freedom that come from being united with Christ.